So with that in place, we can say, well, how do we deal with the fact that we want to design this so that it actually performs better? Well, we do that simply by going to run design again. This time, instead of checking the sections for code compliance, we can add a simple command into the program here that will allow us to select the members which will perform to the optimum level. So the select command basically uses the program to check the member, then look for sections that take it closer to the optimum capacity of one. So if it was only running at 50% capacity, you could actually find that you could take a section working your way down the database so that it was running at 90% or 99%, or you could find those that are failing by going over capacity. So once we've got them to come up with an optimum size, here what we're doing is we're saying, well, let's group them together. So all of those members at the top of the structure here, we want to define those so that they work together, and whichever one has got the largest area is the one that we'll use to be consistent throughout the design. So now we've got our structure in place, we can run through the design very quickly, and let's quickly run through that design, analyze, run the analysis. So this time it's running through, checking the sections, working out which ones are failing or are underutilized, and go through and find a set of sections that go through and become optimum. And there you'll see that the whole structure is colored green, all running at close to optimum. Let's turn off that coloring, and all the colors are now green. So they're in the range of between 0 and 1 in terms of their failure ratio, and I can identify them by sort the table so that it's by failure ratio. We can also take these sections now and update our model because we need to reanalyze. So there's lots of functionality now that provides us a good tool for analysis and design. Well, I'm going to drop out here because I realise that we're running out of time, and there are a few more issues that I'd like to run through with you guys before I. So what does that tell us? Well, in summary, we've got a tool that is now efficient and gives you all the tools that you need to quickly modify, create a structure, modify it, run your analysis, and be productive in a very short amount of time, which means that we've actually got an application that is easy to use, and means productivity is going to be enhanced by drastic amounts if you start using your STAAD Pro as your principal analysis tool. The important thing that we've got here is a tool that is integrated. As I said, I mean, a lot of what we created here was integrated using information from a piping model. That sort of creating those loads can take up to hours, if not days, simply transposing data. And there's also that chance of making errors when numbers and data is being transferred in that fashion. Also, we're dealing with a product that is designed for international use and design, so that you can take your product and your STAAD and start making a set of uses that are not just based for the here and now, but something that you can use going forward. Well, now's the time for questions and answers. I see you've got, well, there's at the moment, we haven't had many people hit any questions. You've got a dialog box in front of you that's got a series of questions and answers. If you want to post your questions, I'm going to pick up the. I'm just going to see if we've got any questions that are being put. Right. I've got a question here. Is there any way to create physical members? Well, yeah, certainly STAAD's got a new layer that was added in STAAD Pro 2006. That was there to create physical members by basically concatenating those. It sits in your pre-processing mode in the modeling mode, and also in your post-processing. There's a question about, can the floors be treated as rigid and flexible diaphragms, I beg your pardon. Well, certainly they can be. The program allows you to create what are called rigid links. Those rigid links can be created. It's called master-slave, and they can either identify fully rigid connections nodes, and they can also identify maybe planes of action, so you can take a whole series of nodes and plane those together and get the program to operate on that. There's a simple question, which is, can equipment load can be input? Equipment loads, those are predefined loads. We've got those equipment loads. Basically, that's your import from STAAD. We've got a facility called OpenSTAAD, where you can create any kind of interface directly into STAAD to create your data files. So you can read and write data. A spreadsheet or something like Excel, you can create a direct link from your equipment data and directly write it into a STAAD file. The question is, as steel design code, does the program have Canadian design? Yes, we have got a Canadian design. We're looking at our Canadian clients and looking to expand the capabilities of Canadian design. There's a question about the printed manuals. The manuals, STAAD provides all of our manuals. As you appreciate, the program keeps moving forward on a very regular basis. So in order to, if we were to keep producing our manuals, to keep up to speed with the program, we're going to be behind the 8 ball all the time. So what we do is we produce or we provide online help, which is current with the program. You can request PDF versions of the manuals, which is probably the best way to go. I've had a request about release of members. They certainly can release members. You can put either releases based on the ends of your members, which are fully released. You can put springs in, or you can put a stiffness based on or a spring equivalent to the stiffness of your beam, a percentage of the stiffness of your beam. Can a custom database be created in STAAD? Yes, you certainly can create a custom database. As I said, that there are database facilities within STAAD. User tables are principally the method we've got. Well, I've got to say thank you very much indeed for your time and patience and your perseverance on certainly on this accent of mine. I hope it hasn't been too difficult for you.